session. And thank you for that. My name is Martin Ricardo Cisteros. I am going to be your facilitator for today. Who am I and what am I doing in front of you? I am an education evangelist with Adobe. What the heck does that mean? I'm going to tell you what that means. What that means is I get to, take a look at all the wonderful free new creativity tools from Adobe Express and teach teachers how to use them in the classroom to sprinkle a little creativity throughout their class, right? So we always talk about developing critical thinking, creative expression, and reflection in the classrooms, but how do we do it? So that is part of my job of what I do. If you want to get at me, click on that QR code or take a picture of this or snapshot this for everybody later on. So thank you for being here. I am a great admirer of you, especially for all teachers who are Saturday educators, which means it's each and every one of you. With that being said, what are we doing here today? We're going to be talking about how to create infographics, how to create graphics, right? And our overview for today is how do we create meaningful graphics that connect to your curriculum, but specifically to your students? How do we create quick videos also, right? And then, of course, we're going to talk about digital portfolios as well. So if you are brand new to Adobe Express, you're thinking, well, Martin, does that mean that we need to have, Photoshop, Illustrator? It doesn't mean no. The answer is no. You do not have to have those. Those are great if you have them, right? Those are our professional tools. But what I'm here to talk about with you today is I'm here to talk about, Adobe Express. So Adobe Express is a free online tool that allows you to create stunning presentations, images, animations, create some captivating videos without video if you need to, right? And also, how do you create attention-grabbing web pages? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. How do you create some stunning web pages without learning how to code? So we're going to talk about all this magical stuff within the. Have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat, and I will try to stop in a few different ways. So this is oh, you know what? Hold on. I am ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look at that. Yeah, yeah. So let's forget everything I said in the last 3 minutes. Let's rewind that because I was like, wait a minute, this sounds very repetitious because that was my first session. This is the Createathon. I was like, whoo, all right. Well, I'm glad I caught it right now. And hence, that's why we drink mushroom coffee, ladies and gentlemen, because it's not only 15% of caffeine, but you have the lion's mane, the chaga, and the cordyceps. So brain focus and of course immunity. But anyways, here's my information again. And why is my we technical difficulties today. All right, here we go. Overview. So why a Createathon, right? So Createathon is a dynamic and hands-on session, which is what we're doing today, to create 2 meaningful design challenges. So what are challenges, right? We're going to learn a little bit about that, how to incorporate these design challenges into your instruction, and how to create your own challenges for your students, right? So we will be using Adobe Express. If you go into and log with it now, I'm going to say this. If your school district does not have Adobe Express already set up, once again, it's free 99. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that correctly. It is free 99. Free part meaning it's absolutely free. The 99 part means that your IT department has to set it up for everyone to use. So if you don't, whoa. That's what happens when you put your elbow on your keyboard. But so if you do not have Adobe Express set up, no worries, contact me, get in contact with me, and then we can have your school be set up or help your school set up, I should say, right? If you already have it, then great. Then contact me for some free PD. We do this throughout the US. So all of our professional development, whether it's virtual or face-to-face, is absolutely free for all K-12 schools. Yay? Yay. All right. So what is Adobe Express? For those of you who are brand new, what we ended up doing was Adobe figured out that it needed to help K-12 system because it knew that a lot of our students didn't know how to work. When we talk about student agency, and what I mean by that is how do we get students to learn how to learn on their own and be able to apply that knowledge to solve real world problems creatively? Because, right? If I was to go down each and every one of you, you were all say you already knew what more or less what you wanted to be when you were a child. When someone would ask you the question, Rochelle, when you grow up, what do you want to be? Right, Rochelle, can you answer that for us? What was your response during that time?
I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be
As
an
you
artist.
are.
I wanted to be a fashion designer, and I wanted to work on hot rod cars.
And that is still possible. Brian, how about yourself, sir? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I'm just trying to be the next Martin Carlos, who's an educational evangelist.
Well, that was amazing. That means you had a crystal ball, because I'll be the first one to tell you, if you haven't figured it out from my background, I wanted to be an X-Wing fighter pilot in Star Wars. Right. So that was my big idea. But the reality is, if we go through each and every one of us, we all wanted to be something that was already has been created. Right. We're living in a time where our students don't know what the next job is going to be. I just had one of my oldest child just go through university, where every year he would come home and would tell me the following: Dad, are you sure you want to keep on paying registration? Because I'm learning more outside the classroom than I am inside. That would scare me every single time, because who was paying for that? Yours truly, right? But we still, and I told them, we still live in the world where you still need that paper in order to open certain opportunities for you. But anyways, that's a whole other presentation. The reason why we're doing this now is because we need to teach our kids a skill sets so they are prepared for their future, not 1989, although 1989 was a really good year. My prerogative, Bobby Brown, that's all I'm going to say. Okay, moving forward. So now, of course, we can create all this wonderful stuff, but I'm going to stop here, because this is where all the goodies are going to happen today. That's right. So take a picture of that, screenshot it, whatever you need to do. I'm also going to put this on the chat in a moment, but I'm just going to give you some time. Get this, take a picture. I'll come back to it right now, but I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to put this on the chat really quick. Bam. All right. Now you have it on the chat. So that's going to get you to this this document where we're going to make the magic happen today. If not, I'm going to leave this up for a few seconds. Please either give me a thumbs up or let me know that you are on that participants page. What is that I hear? Oh, jazz and R&B as you get there. All righty then. All right, thank you, Lisa. You got it. Angela, thank you. Barbara, you're on it. Dave, Shannon, Noemi. All right, Jimenez, all good. All right, it seems like everyone's getting there. All good, all good. All right, Vanessa, Mirna. Gabrigeff. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say it. All right, James.
It's the template.
Yes, so that you now have that there. All good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you all are on this page, and this is the page you should be, where it says Create-a-thon, Adobe's Creative Challenges. Okay, so great. So our schedule for today, we're going to talk about why challenges. We're going to go through a challenge. We're going to learn how to create and remix the challenge. And we're going to show you how to create your own templates for your students. All right. So what are challenges? Challenges is, here's the reasons why, right? We did some research and we thought, is it possible to quantify the value of essential and creative digital literacy skills? And the answer is yes, because LinkedIn, you all know LinkedIn, and then we got this company called Resize who did this research for us, and we wanted to measure the impact of creative and digital literacy skills on students' outcomes and make it actionable for K-12 institutions. Here's what we found out. So Resize said that learning systemically and rigorously measured the impact of integrated teaching of creative and digital literacy skills using Adobe Creative Cloud that includes Adobe Express as a primary tool. And same thing, of course, with LinkedIn, the impact of having creative skills on their career trajectory. And here's what we found out, ladies and gentlemen. And it didn't matter from what school our students came from. This is what we found out. Number one, it improves student grades. Number two, it improves student retention. Ooh, remember that fun time, right? It was called COVID. And then they wouldn't turn on their microphones. They wouldn't turn on their cameras. And you were just teaching to a black screen. Remember that wonderful time, right? But now when they start producing, when they start creating, right, it did that. And here's the wonderful part. It improved post-grad job prospects because they had skill sets that they can use beyond the classroom. And of course, what we're seeing now is also improving long-term career trajectory, because if you're looking at if you go to LinkedIn or you go to Job Monster or whatever, one of these wonderful places, when people are looking for jobs, creativity, creative skills, problem solving, critical thinking are always at the top 5, right? And that's what we're trying to do with Express, is give them the tools. So what are we talking about? Challenges is, of course, challenges is a way to get your students to become a part of creating and making with these tools, right? So we have our wonderful friend, teacher Rachel Swanson, and what she did was Adobe does these monthly challenges when we post them out on social media. I'm going to show you how to sign up for them in a moment. Where she, of course, did a rights, what are some of the rights for our classroom? And this is what her classroom came up with, right? So what we're going to do now is we are going to create ourselves. So here's what I want you to do on this wonderful page that you see here, which is the participants page that's on the meeting chat, is you're going to scroll down and you are going to come across this graphic identity, right? When you scroll down, here, you scroll down here on step 1, you're going to click on this big red button that says Creative Identity Graphic Template. For those of you who were here in my first session, it's the same one that we did earlier today. When you click Remix This Design, something's going to happen. It's going to launch you into log into Adobe Express. If this is your very first time and you've never done Adobe Express, I'm going to tell you the following. If your district is set up, you want to log in on the right-hand side where it says log in with school account, and either log in with your school email up here, or if you are a Google district, you can do it down here with continue with Google. If you are a teacher that doesn't have their district with Adobe turned on, then you can try to go in here, but I would suggest just logging in with your Google. You're not going to get all the bells and whistles, but at least you'll be able to play with today, and then contact me later on to connect with your IT department so we can get this turned on for you. Okay, so that is my PSA, and I'm going to tell you why you want this turned on with your school account. Because if you just do it on your own, you're not going to get, like I said, all the bells and whistles. And we are giving the premium version of Adobe Express to all K-12 schools, educators, and students, and also any nonprofit organizations as well. So if you belong to a nonprofit, let us know and we can help them out as well. Well, now we're back here again. How do we get here? We got here from our participants page. We scroll down, we're going to click on Creative Identity Graphic, and that's going to bring us here. Once we get here at the bottom, you're going to see a big purple button that says Remix This Design. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and that will automatically ask you to log into Adobe Express. If you're already logged in, or after you log in, you end up here. So I'm going to give everybody a few seconds to make sure that happens. Sure that everyone's logged in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you should be logged in by now. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of what Adobe Express is all about. The first things first, what I'm going to show you is on the left-hand side where you see Discover, Templates, Text, Photos, Shapes, Design, Assets, Backgrounds, Logos, and Libraries. These are all things that you can add to your graphic. On the right-hand side, where you see colors, animation, layout, resize, and design. These are all tools that allow you to edit. And at the very end, we're going to talk about downloading or sharing your graphics. So that is the layout of Adobe Express. First things first is this graphic talks about a person who is known as Mina Thomas. And last time I checked, my name was not Mina Thomas. So I'm going to click on this yellow square. And when I do so, you're going to see that this edit box pops up on the right-hand side. And at the very top, it says, who is Mina Thomas? I am going to remove her name. And guess what? I am going to add mine. Go ahead and put my medals on there. And then now it changes that. Great. And I'm going to come over here and it says favorite foods. Well, just letting everyone know that I just came from Alaska and the last thing I want to eat right now is an ice cream, but I did get to try some reindeer tacos and oh my goodness, were they so good. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that ice cream. Now I can come back up here to the right. I can change the color if I want of that ice cream, but what did I say? I say I wanted to change that ice cream into a taco, right? So I'm going to click on the ice cream. And this time, instead of hitting the color, I'm going to go up here to where it says replace. And I click on replace. It's going to showcase all these different shapes of ice cream. And look at this. I have over 15,000 types of ice cream. So I'm going to change ice cream and I'm going to type in the word tacos because that's what I'm craving. It's those reindeer tacos I had last week. So I'm going to click on this taco and I want you to see this. Because I hit replace up here, if I hit that taco, it's going to automatically change, or better yet, auto-magically change. And yes, you can use my word whenever you like. We're going to change that in the ice cream into a taco. And now I'm going to use this little border, this little white dot in the border, and I can extend it so I can stretch out this photo and use this curvy one so I can move orientation of this image. Now, if I wanted to, they're like, well, Martin, I really love tacos. And I'm like, I'm with you, right? So I can go into shapes and I can continue to add more different shapes. So here's another taco, right? A chicken taco or a fish taco, whatever that means. So I can continue to add that. Now over here, right, we can go up to all these shapes and we can, once again, change the color of any one of these. Loves reading books. So I'm going to change this to loves read or listening, I should say. To audio books. All right. Oh, 2 books. And as you're seeing here, this automatically moves around with whatever I put in here, because what I love about Adobe Express is you can stretch it out and look at this, right? It automatically will change to whatever size you want. Now over here, it says when he isn't or she isn't teaching. So I'm definitely going to change that. And I'm going to say when he isn't teaching, he is, I love playing music. So once again, I'm going to go over here to shapes. Race tacos over here, and I'm going to type in music. I love listening to music, and I also love playing the drums. So I'm going to see if I can find a drum. I'm going to add one as well, right? But what I love about this is the following. Your students no longer have to worry about going anywhere else to find all the different elements to create a project now, right? You can find, tons and thousands of icons, find a variety of photos. So like, for example, here's Mina, right? I'm gonna click on Mina here. And when I click on her, I can go up here and click on replace. When I hit replace, this opens up. Literally have the largest stock photo library in the world because we are Adobe. So we license these, and that means that your students and yourself can use any of these for whatever that you need for whatever project. Your students no longer have to worry about like, oh, where am I going to get that picture? Or if they go to Google, right, they bring like a grainy picture they can barely understand. So what we love about the other reason why you want to log into your K-12 account is because we also filter these images as well. So never find anything inappropriate as you're searching through these as well. What I'm going to show you is the following, right? So I clicked on Mina, and with Mina over here, I could go up here and type in the word teacher. right? I can type in the word teacher here, and I can go down here and say, okay, I'm going to change that teacher to this teacher right here. So guy with the vest on, if I click on them, here's the other wonderful part about Adobe Express. It sees that you have erased the background. So look at what it does. It automatically changes or erases the background. So you just have that image, right? Once again, who are we talking about? We're not talking about this teacher. We're talking about me. So I want to put a picture of myself. So what I'm going to do, once again, I'm going to click on his head right here so it could be selected. I'm going to go to the top right where it says edit image. And hit replace. And this time I'm going to go to the top left where it says upload photo under photos. And I am going to find a picture of myself. And there it is. There's a picture of me. And as you can see, there's a background on it. But once again, Adobe uses an artificial intelligence engine in the background known as Adobe Sensei. And what Adobe Sensei is doing right now is looking at my picture, analyzing the background, and is going to remove it and add me there, right? And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Martin, well, can we add other pictures besides that one and remove the background? Of course you can. So I'm going to show you something. So what I'm going to do is I am going to picture of my guy. This is my little guy. This is Caleb, right? So this is Caleb picture. So you see here, it's a regular picture. It's a school picture like you've seen it before. So on his picture, I'm just going to go to the top right where it says remove background. Click on that button and say, look, Ma, no hands, right? Give it a few seconds and bam, it automatically erases the background. Now I get to go up here, click on that done check mark, right? And now I can add them. I can even make them my little logo as my mini me on my t-shirt here. Right, I can add him right there. There we go. Dad's carrying his little guy wherever he goes. So anyways, there's so many fun stuff. One of the things this child taught me is like, Dad, do you know what you can do with it? You know how you always want to go to places, but you can never go? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. He goes, yeah. He goes, well, in Adobe Express, you can go find the picture of wherever you want to go, and then take a picture of yourself and then remove the background and just insert yourself wherever you want to go. And I'm like, thank you. That is pretty darn cool, right? So I love that aspect that, you know, and I say this to everybody, give access to your kids so your kids can understand, you know, that they can do whatever they want. So it gets even better than this, ladies and gentlemen. So now, right, I can go in the background over here, click on the background. Once again, we can change the colors if we like, right? Change these different colors. And you might say, well, Martina, I don't want to change the colors. I want something more dramatic. And I'm like, okay, click on the background. And this time, click on choose image. Click on choose image. You can go in here and I'm just going to see if they have it. I'm going to put in Lake Tahoe. It happens. Oh, look at that. Bam, right? We're there. Or bam, right? There's so many different ways of how you can use this. So I love this because for that particular reason, right? These are really good photos. And I love the images and the colors that it pops out. Now, because we're talking about colors, you're saying, well, Martin, is there a way that we can change? Because we changed the background. Now, you know, this might seem like an odd way to showcase all this information. I'm like, sure. What you can do are a few things. So with the background, you can go down here and we have some effects. Like, for example, you can click on the blur and look at this. It blurs the background, almost like your Zoom, right? And then makes the letters pop out a little bit better. Or you can come over here and you can click on enhancements, right? You can change, of course, the warmth, the shadow. There's many different ways that you can change it, or you can make it like it's really, really cold right now, whatever you like. But also you can, you know, do a variety of things with filters as well. So I can come up here on the filters and completely change the dynamics, like, right? But it gets even better than that, ladies and gentlemen, because let's say, for example, if I darkened it, right, you can see that pop up a little bit better. But what I'm about to show you is the following. I'm going to turn off the filter. And what I'm going to show you is up at the top, if you click anywhere up here in the gray area, you're going to go up here to where it says colors. And under colors, this is the current color palette, but you can go down here and you can change the color palette and look at this, right? Students can now play with these colors and you can modify these palettes to whatever colors you want, right? So I love this, that we can come in here and play quite a bit, because I'm like, okay, oh, look at that. Okay, now that pops a little bit better. That is there for you. The other thing is, look at this, right? You've all created infographics before. You've all created newsletters. Thanksgiving is coming and it's like, the holidays are coming. You want to create these wonderful graphics. You can also click here where it says animation, and look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You can now make any of your graphics into animated graphics, right? And there's so many different designs that you can do here. I love this one, which is called the color shuffle. So it takes that gradient and of course flashes that around. What I'm about to show you in a moment is you can brand your own content. That means if you have your school logo, you can choose those colors. So no matter what the students produce is those particular colors, right? But as you're seeing here, there's a lot of really cool stuff that we can do with the animation component. And it makes it really, really slick and easy to do. So I'm going to click on none. Now, the other thing is, we like this, and this is just a regular format. We just use a square, but you can go down here at the bottom and you can duplicate this page. Why would you want to make a duplicate of this page? Because now you can go over here to where it says resize, and on resize, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to turn this into an Instagram story, bam, it's there for you. Want to change this into a Facebook cover, bam, it's there for you, right? If you or your students want to create a thumbnail to your YouTube channel, bam, it's there, right? Oh, Twitter, and yay, get this on Twitter before it's gone, because you all heard, right? Twitter might be going. So anyways, make sure it looks good before it goes. You also have a ways of creating this into a regular letter, a poster, making these cards. As you can see, you have the ability to resize to a variety of different formats. On it for your phone cover, bam, you can create your own phone covers here as well. Win-win, so many different uses. But I'm going to go back here to my first one. Actually, I'm going to make a copy of this first one again, because the other thing that I'm going to show you is you can also change the layout, right? The layout meaning that you can do a variety of different things with banner. You can turn this into a grid, right? There's so many different ways that you can mess layout. I'm going to go back and make a copy of it again. And this time what I'm going to show you is that you can also mess with design. On the right, you have the design component. Look at this. You have different variations. And what it does, it automatically grabs, whatever the font is, the colors, the palettes, right? These are all different ways of your students, creating something that is pretty darn slick, right? And if they don't like what they don't, whatever reason for what they've done, they can always revert back to their original or take a look at all the different variations that they're using, right? So we talk about iteration quite a bit. So you're saying, oh, Martin, this is great, but you said something about creating templates. Why would my students want to create templates? So I'm going to give you an example. In Adobe, I'm going to click on the home button, which is the top Adobe button. And I'm going to scroll down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to projects. By the way, projects is where all of your stuff lives. And I created this graphic earlier today. And this is a graphic that I help my kids. So this is what I call my 2012 model, right? Because I have 4 kids. This is my 2012 model. And what I helped him do here is create a graphic so he can introduce himself to his teacher at the beginning of the year. His teacher loved this so much, and she says, hey, can you help me create a template for this so I can use it with the rest of the class? And I'm like, sure. So first of all, I showed her how to build something like this, which is what I'm about to show you right now. It's like, so in here, first I'm going to show you how to create a template, and then we're going to go back into creating your own infographic. So in here, I created these speech bubbles, right? I put his face in there, and just like I showed you, right? I grabbed, this was a different picture, but basically did this. I added a picture of him. And by the way, you can just drag and drop pictures in here, right? It's really easy to do, or you can just upload them. But what I ended up doing was I grabbed a picture of his as we're seeing now. I'm going to hit the refresh button. There we are. I grab his picture and then I go up here to the top right where it says remove background. I click on it, and in a few short seconds, you see the background removed as we see here. Now we hit that little check mark, and this is how I got the different picture, but you get the idea, right? I then extended this to make it larger. If I wanted to, I can mix those two around. I can say, okay, I don't want this guy. I want this guy right here, right? Better version. And now I added these bubbles, right, with these design assets. So I can go over here, or I could go into shapes and type in the word speech bubble. As you can see, we have tons and tons of speech bubbles that you can add. In other words, you're able to create a template for your kids to remix, right? And I'm going to show you that in a moment. But once you have everything set up the way you like it, here is how you create a template, or a folder of templates, I should say, for your class. First thing you're going to do is you want to name it. So I'm going to call this element. Right. And so once I save it, I'm going to go up here to where it says share. And up here where it says share, it says wait, your project. All right, there we go. And now I can either publish it, but I'm going to go down here to where it says make a template, right? You see it right there under share, make a template. And now I'm going to click on making a template, and we are going to get the following. It's call this. I'm going to call this my 1000 template. I can add some notes here if I want. Now, down here at the bottom, right, down here at the bottom, I have a library. So I'm going to tell you what a library means in Adobe Express. So a library is basically a folder that holds all of your templates, right? All the stuff that you want your students to remix, just like I showed you how to remix that first one that we did this morning, right? So if you already have a folder, you can automatically insert it in there. Or you might say, no, I want to create a brand new one for my period 1 class, or I want to create one just for language arts, whatever that might be, right? So I'm going to click on that library, and it's going to ask you to name your library. And I'm going to say, I'm going to call this GTK for get to know students or get to know staff. I'm going to click on save template. And what it's doing in the background, it's automatically changing this graphic that you create in template also into a library where you'll be able to access it. Seconds, as this thing is creating it on the background, I am going to open up a session of Adobe here. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to go down here to where it says libraries. I want you to see all the different libraries I have developed over time. And develop meaning that I have created over a certain period of time, so that way my students can remix this. So what you're going to do here is once you get in here, you can manage this library, right? This is a library that I created that is called graphic organizers. So in here, I have a variety of graphic organizers. I have a brainstorming one. I have a sequence chart. I have a analogy of a graphic organizer, right? This is what I call my my exit ticket challenge, right? A challenge meaning that they're gonna have to remix it. And what this is, you know, they just get to tell me what they learned or what questions or what we know, what brought their curiosity for what they saw in class today. I have, of course, the identity graphic, and I have things from know and learn that we use in a variety of different things in the classroom. So these are all teaching strategies. The question now is, okay, Martin, I understand how you went from creating this graphic here. And you told me that once I create it, I name it. I then go to share. I then go to make a template. I click on make a template. It's going to tell me to go ahead and be able to library. Now that we have our library, how do we share this with our students? So that way they can come in here and remix whatever template. So at the top right, you're going to see a big button that says share, right? You see, this is the library, right? And we're going to go up to here where it says share, click on share, and then you can invite another staff member. Let's just say if you're working with a grade level group, right? You can put all your templates in there, or you can just say manage public link. So I'll manage public link. And what it's doing right now, it's going to go ahead and create a link, right? I'm going to copy this link, and this is the link that I give to my students. Why? I'm going to show you why. I'm going to put that link of my graphic organizers in the chat, but you get to experience what your students would experience. If you go in the chat right now, right, and you click on the graphic organizers, you're going to see what I'm seeing. You're going to see this whole list. Now, if you click any one of these, you will now be able to make a copy and remix that information for you. It's a great way for your students to remix whatever templates you either curate, and I'm going to show you that in a moment from Adobe Express, or ones that you create on your own, right? So that's it. You can the graphic, you can of course now share it. Question then becomes, Martin, this is great, and I see that you have a variety of other libraries that you have created. So I did this one called Meet the Teacher, right? So if you are an administrator, these are different ways. One of my favorite ones is this one where you can use emojis to describe who you are as a teacher. This was a fun one also for students, right? And these are similar ones to the ones that we created earlier. But I love creating libraries, so that way I give one link to my students, and I can either post this on Canvas, I can post this on Google Classroom under the resources, whatever your learning management system is, create this one link to your library so you can continue to add to the library, and your students don't have to wonder, I wonder where my teacher, gave us that information. It will be all under one link. Okay, so you can, of course, share libraries, with other staff. My suggestion is do not share, give permission to edit your library with the student, because if they edit something, then it's going to edit everyone else's. So my suggestion is only give permission to those folks that you want to make sure that you trust in editing any of your graphics. Great question, Nicola. Are these graphics automatically saved? The answer is yes. So every time you create any graphic, I'm going to go back home with Adobe over here. Anytime you create any project, right, you click on projects here, and you're going to see all the projects that you have created here, right? This is very, very slick. Now, people always say, well, Martin, I get confused about which is which. So I'm going to tell you really quick, just by scanning this, right? You're looking at these three up here, right? You see right here, once is my project, which I should have put a name on it. If you don't see any icon, this means this is a graphic. Over here, we see Caleb, and we see like a little page. As you see here, this is a web page. If I scroll down over here, you see the little video, that means that this is a video. Or you can always sort or show all your stuff by, if you just want to see all the videos that you've made, all the web pages that you've made, or if you just want to look at all the graphics that you made. You can also create folders within these as well, which is I highly suggest as you move forward. But I also want to make sure that you understand that what we're doing here, we're just scratching the surface of Adobe Express, because I told you at the very beginning, Adobe Express are graphics, animations, right? Video and websites, right? Those are the other components. But we created that. I want to take a moment to look into Adobe Education Exchange, which is our hub where all the cool and latest things are happening. So go ahead and put this on the chat. on Adobe Education Exchange, and I'm going to show you how you can continue learning and how you can also learn about more of these templates that you can add to your very own folder. So in here, when you go into Adobe Education Exchange, my first thing is please make sure you log in with your professional teacher or educator account. Why is this important? Because this will automatically sign you up for a newsletter. So if you want to learn more about what we're doing today, if you want more of these examples, just click here and we're going to continue to send these to you, right? So that way you're always in the know. And when we upgrade to new stuff, you'll be as well. So that being said, once you log in, you're able to come up here where it says find resources, right? And you might say, well, Martin, I definitely want to know how I can use this in mathematics, right? So we heard Dan Meyer earlier this morning, and everything from something doing very, very fun, do a creative challenge with a 3D snowman, so we can create that, right? That's an easy left. To designing a neighborhood map using geometry concepts, right? So we have an expansion. If you're like, well, Martin, is there any way that I can find these things more granular? And I'm like, yeah, you can come in here and you can turn all these other ones off at Adobe Express, right? But I will tell you, for those schools who do have Adobe Express K-12, the full thing turned on, you also have access to Premiere Rush. Premiere Rush is an outside tool that you can download. And if you are a Mac user, the best way I tell folks is like iMovie with artificial intelligence behind it. So it's a way for your students to create film, and it's really easy to use. It's a downloadable component though. So I want to make sure you all understand that. Anyways, I can come down here and I can say, oh, Martin, I just want, for primary, I just want it for secondary. I want, lessons for high school. Have all that here. The other thing I'm going to say is you can come in here for professional learning and click on professional learning. Click, don't give me anything over 30 minutes because no one has time for that. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We have so many cool new, these are brand spanking new. Like I said before, my team, we are new. We are 6 months in. So what they ended up doing was they chose a few of us throughout the US and like, all right, you're really good at what you do. Can you come and showcase how to do this for teachers? And most of us have been teachers. We've been administrators, district personnel. We work for the state, county office. CTO was my last position. So I went from kindergarten to CTO in 27 years. So some form or shape, I can help you. And what I love about this is mine, if you want to take my course, mine's on building community with Adobe Express. How do you build community, right? You have Tanya over here, Tanya Avereth. If you do not follow her online, oh my gosh, she is a wealth of knowledge, but she does visible thinking routines with Adobe Express. My buddy over here, Manuel Herrera, sketchnoting. Oh my goodness, so much fun, right? Sketchnoting with students using Adobe Express, Fresco, and Scan. You have Dom over here with writing activities with Adobe Express. Have the wonderful Rebecca Hare with digital portfolios, the amazing Max over here with graphic organizers, Jesse with formative assessment, Lindsay with goal setting. Of course, we have Wesley with student, how do you enhance student presentations? And then, of course, we have the magnificent Claudio Zavala with infographics. They're all 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. These do not take a long time. They all come with templates, which means that you can grab them, add them to your folder, and boom, you're done. You allow your students to work their magic, right? So a lot of these things are really easy to produce. They're really easy to do. And if you're saying, Martin, I don't have time to produce, then great. Come in here, grab a template and run with it, right? My suggestion is look for the stuff that resonates with you. So this is automatically here. The other thing that I am going to share with you as well is I'm going to share this particular link is, and this one is, I'm going to call it past challenges. Because online, ladies and gentlemen, if you follow us, hashtag Adobe Edu Creative, and you can follow me as well because I produce these as well. So I give you my information, but on the past challenges, you can come in here. You see, this is the one that we worked on. That was today, but I want you to look at all these other ones, all these other challenges. These are challenges you can do with your students tomorrow. They're ready for them to use, right? So once again, adding your flair to there. Now, what I'm also going to tell you is that we do a variety of training, of teaching you step by step of how do you build creativity and critical thinking into your classroom. Please make sure you sign up for the newsletter because we'll be pushing that out. I was just in Clark County last week, and I will be down there again in January. So be on the lookout for those, because these are free trainings where we also do certifications for Adobe Creative Teacher Level 1 and Level 2. These are all free, ladies and gentlemen. Plus, we come with food and swag. Why wouldn't you want to become? Right? So please make sure there's a lookout for that. But also, if you want to bring me and my team over to your district, please make sure you contact me at the very end. Now, I know I gave you a plethora of ideas and information. We're going to take a quick moment. And Sis 3, can you tell us what time is today's session over?
You have 7 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time?
You have 7 minutes.
I have 7 minutes. Okay. So in these 7 minutes, please start writing down your questions. I'm going to show you one more thing before I stop. And that is going to be, I talked a little bit about it, but what we love about Adobe Express is that you can create your own logos, right? So if you come up here where it says search all templates, you can literally search for a variety of templates. So you can type in, if you want to learn more about, graphic organizers or the water cycle, whatever topic comes into your mind, more than likely we have it in our template. So you just got to look for it. But what I'm going to show you right now is I'm going to show you how to create a logo, right? Click on logo up here. You're going to see a plethora of logos. That's right. So your students can create their own logos. So I might come in here and say, okay, these are all pretty snazzy, right? And I might say, let's see. Oh, okay, so I'm going to start from scratch, meaning I can start from here. I want you to see this, right? So I'm going to start from here, and I was like, ooh, so I might change this, and I change this to here, change model. Right. I create a logo. You can have your students create their own logos, or you can have a challenge where you can have your students create the logo for your class, whatever that might be. First thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to change the colors a little bit. I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on bold. Here. That looks really bright. All right. I'm just going to go, I'm going to run with it. Okay. I'm run with one. All right. I'm going to run with this one. Now, right. I want you to see this. When we download, I want you to see this. We can download as a PNG, but I love this part right here. Look, you can download with a transparent background. That means the background will not show, right? This is pretty darn slick, ladies and gentlemen, because that way you don't have to worry about it. You can download it as a PNG in the background, and I'm going to click on Start Background. Now that I have my logo, here's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to go back home. And then at home, I'm going to scroll down here to where it says brands. So this is another reason why you want the K-12 premium, because you're going to be keeping this. In here, I'm going to click on create a brand, right? And then I am going to upload my logo. I just downloaded right there. And now I get to pick my colors, right? Now I'm going to say, okay, that's my color. I want to save that. Edit, if I want to edit, I can choose my own fonts. Flato bold. Once I have logo, color, font, I click on next. And I'm okay, my modern learning advisor logo, my brand. I want you to see the following now. I can add
3
another
minutes.
brand, but
3 minutes.
okay, and I'm going to stop here. But what I love about this is that now when I go out and create anything new, I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to type in the word book cover to show you this, right? I can go in here and I'm going to just this one graphic that your students can create. You can add this to your library as well. But now I'm going to go up here where it says colors. I want you to see the following, right? I have two different brands. I have the Adobe Express. So I can say, I want to switch that to this, to my MLA one. It's going to do, it's going to change the fonts and the colors. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen, to the branding of my brand, right? So this is my color palette. This is going to save you so much time. This is going to amaze your students because because now it's like, once again, for those of you who are my age, if you remember Garanimals, it's Garanimals for your graphics, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we see some smiles. Yes. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you because I know we have a few minutes left. So there is so much. So, talking about math, we use these graphics within math, right? We create our own posters with infographics. There's so much we can do. So, but for today, if you want to learn more, please sign up for our for our Adobe Education Exchange. Take a picture of this. That QR code is access to all of my information. So if you're one of those teachers that today said, "Oh, Martin, we don't have Adobe Express. I don't have my teacher account," get a hold of me so that way I can connect with you and then we can speak to your IT department to get this up and running, and then possibly talk about some future PD, free PD for you and your team. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Once again, if you are going to do anything online, please give us, hit me up with the hashtag. I'm going to put my stuff up here again, the Tech Profe, hashtag Adobe Edu Creative. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with here today. Once again, I am proud because there's something special about Saturday teachers, and you guys are Saturday teachers. So thank you for not only what you're doing today, but what you have done with our students as well. So saludos, gracias. And if you have any questions, I'll hang out for a bit. Or like I said, holler at me online. I'm usually there. All right, sis.